with my staff, so I'm a little bit into the juice already. And then head up with some homework and all of that. So I hope your day is going okay. I decided that August 2020 is the month that everyone lost their damn minds. And specifically, it's the week of August the 24th. Was that this week number? The week that everyone lost their damn minds. Because all I have been doing this week is dealing with just stuff. All over, not any particular area of my life, just everything. And then the hair is looking really raggedy this week. I kind of missed the blurry screen so that y'all don't see the hair quite as much. So, hi, Mama. Good to see you. So, anyway, I hope everyone is safe. I know we've got dueling hurricanes in America right now. I think the first one is gone. I don't know why I'm yelling. It's not like I'm on the Republican National Convention. Just talking normal voice. And you can hear me, right? Yeah. So Laura made landfall. Laura, is that her name? Yeah, Laura made landfall, and it is the weirdest path that I saw. It's like it goes into Louisiana and then up into Arkansas, and it'll be decorated. It was possible. It was, and again, this is news-ish. It may have changed since I saw this, but when I last looked at it, which was this morning, they thought it was going to go up, and it could still possibly be like a level 1 hurricane when it gets to Arkansas. And I don't know if that actually came to be. And then it's got this weird ass, it's like it's in an RV traveling all over the world, just up and over and over and over until it finally makes its way to like New York or something. We can use the rain. We got just like a little bit of rain last night, and I thought we were going to get some from the storms, but because literally that's all people in Dallas and North Texas care. When we have a hurricane, we're like, are we going to get some rain for it? Are we going to get some rain? It's nice to not live in the hurricane zone just to get some of the residual effects of it. So anyway, one of the things I saw, Carrie and I were actually talking about this earlier today, that the news keeps showing the same photo of an RV, like a Winnebago type RV. I don't think it was a Winnebago, but of an RV blowing over in the storm. And it just as a demonstration of how catastrophic and how like powerful the storm was. You know what? It's not that damn hard to blow over an RV. They're basically just a big old shoebox full of a toilet, a plastic toilet, a table that can turn into a bed, and some people's dishes and shit. It doesn't weigh anything. So, I mean, I'll tell you, when we were driving through the panhandle of Texas, there were times that we thought we were going to blow over because it is so fucking windy up there. And then also through the plains of South Dakota, from like that Custer, Mount Rushmore area over to Iowa, it was like crazy windy. And you're just kind of driving sideways to stay on the road. It was the weirdest thing. Well, I'm saying traveling Bermuda Triangle. Oh, yes, that's the newest thing that's going to come up. So where's it going to be today? Who's going to disappear now? Right? Isn't that hilarious? I had a friend who was totally different subject. I have a friend who was talking about packing styles today on Facebook. Like when we used to be able to go places, like packing styles, like every relationship has someone who packs 6 days in advance and someone who packs 6 minutes in advance. And which one are you? We were kind of bantering back and forth. So I am I start packing a good week before I do something, and then I start planning what I'm going to wear. So if I want to wear it on vacation, I make sure I don't wear it the week before, so I don't have to worry about packing it or it's dirty or whatever like that, right? So I'm very prepared in that sense. My beloved husband, on the other hand, is a wake up in the morning and the flight's at 11 o'clock, still has not packed a damn thing. And we'll start packing. It's like, hey, where's that shirt I wore yesterday? I want to take it with me. So we got to do a load of laundry then. Like, it drives me insane. Meanwhile, I'm downstairs cleaning the kitchen because I hate coming home to a dirty kitchen. I want my kitchen to be clean when I arrive home so that I'm not having, like, when I'm home, I just have a great home. So, and I'm actually a very light packer as well. I do not overpack. Todd, on the other hand, tends to overpack. So he he tends to be like, well, make sure you bring an outfit for in case we go to a fancy dinner. And I'm like, we're going to an RV park. I don't need one. I will pack, like, for a week trip, I'll pack 3 pairs of shorts, 3 to 4 shirts. I just make sure I have enough underwear and undershirts for every day of the trip. But other than that, I rewear stuff and just mix and match. And I try to wear, this has a faded old Mickey on it, but you've noticed probably by now that I wear a lot of just solid colored t-shirts that don't have anything on them. I pack a lot of those. Polo shirts, you can dress those up, dress them down, and I'm good. And I usually pack maybe the pair of shoes on my feet and another pair, and just try to figure that out. I don't pack 10 pairs of shoes like some people I know. So Stuart is saying there is a formula: your length in feet times your height in feet times the miles per hour. When that number exceeds your actual gross weight, you are likely to get tipped over. Interesting. And another formula: if they are calling for a hurricane to hit in 2 days, leave. I agree. And y'all have had a lot of that. So, and Melissa, who was actually the one I was talking to about this earlier, you never take extra underwear. No, I take exactly the amount that I need. Like, why would you need extra underwear? What are you doing? What could you possibly be doing that you would need an extra pair of underwear? And worst case scenario, if I need an extra pair of underwear, I can either wash them out in the sink, or I can just find the cleanest of the previous pairs, because I'm not a dirty person. I rewear clothes all the time that to rewear. So I do not. Sweating. I don't do that very often, so that's no. I'll tell you, the most I have sweated, sweet. I don't even know the conjugation of the word. I do it so little. Is this last week of walking? It has been like 85% humidity. It may be like 73 degrees outside, but the heat index is like 92 because it is so humid. But no, I don't take. I rarely take. And even when I intentionally underpack, I almost never wear all the clothes I brought. There's that too. And Junior is threatening my life if I rewear my jorts anymore. Todd hates mine, hates them. He's always hated jorts. He hates anything denim on the bottom that's not a jean. He doesn't like chambray shorts, because I used to have a pair of chambray shorts that I loved, and they were from Banana Republic that season, so it's not like they were out of season. But he's always made fun of me. He hates jorts so much. I think they're great. I love them, and a little roll at the action at the bottom, very like of the 90s. I'm not going to go so far as wearing Doc Martens with them, so I don't have those anymore. But that was my jam in the early 90s, mid 90s, not early 90s. It would be mid 90s. I was wearing the cutoff jorts with the cuffs rolled on the bottom, Doc Marten boots with white socks, kind of scrunched down. Like, that was 90s gay. That was hardcore. Oh. And Stuart's wanting to know, does Todd worry about out of season, or is that you? So I use that as justification for if he is criticizing my fashion choices, that I'm like, I just bought it. This is not even like the store is actually sell. I did not get a pair of jeans and cut them off and make these. This is not homemade. This is from the store. I bought this at Nordstrom. Like, my jorts are from Nordstrom, and they're only like a couple months old. And actually, you know what? Nordstrom ended up selling out of those jorts after I posted about it. And I get sometimes when I post things, if I use a certain link, I get a commission on what I'm talking about. I probably made a good $20 on commissions, which at like $2 a pop means I sold $10 worth, or 10 pairs of jorts from Nordstrom. So, and jorts and Tevas, that is my thing. Todd made fun of me endlessly for the Tevas as well, but guess who's wearing them all the fucking time now? Mr. Todd Koch is wearing them all the time now. So, so there's that. Todd loves to make fun of things until he loves them, and then they're his brilliant fashion idea. So that's just the key to my marriage right there. Extra pair of underwear needed when driving in a wind-blown RV, because once you say it, you might do it. That is, oh shit. Yes. That is true, but I'm sure I have an extra clean pair, and I'm clean enough. I don't worry about that. And yes, I always change before dinner on vacation. It depends though. Like if you're not on that kind of vacation. So if it is a trip where I know that we're like going, like even Disney World, but other places too, like where I know we're going to have dinner reservations or something like that, I will often bring a change of clothes for that to be appropriate. I don't want to wear this at the Parisian restaurant at Epcot or in a restaurant in New York or something like that, right? But I actually tend to dress up more on vacation. Actually, I don't wear t-shirts as much on vacation unless it's like a t-shirt vacation. But like I'll wear polo. My sister makes fun of me all the time, and Mike is on here, her husband too, is that we wear collars and all of that stuff all the time, and because it's just easier to kind of go up and down, up and down. Carrie saying Tevas are everywhere now. About to order a second pair. I've started seeing fashion shows that have Tevas in them. I love it. Again, I'm yelling. I don't know why I'm starting to yell again. What are y'all saying? What are y'all saying? I think that's it. Let's see. What else was I going to talk about? Okay, there was something I posted. This is Cooper's Political Corner for a moment. You know, I am a feminist. I think most people are feminists. I think that word gets a bad rap. I think that anyone who believes that women are equal to men, should have equal opportunities, should have equal choice in the things that they do, the way they regard themselves, all that stuff. You're a feminist, right? Like if you believe that women are equal, you're a feminist. It just got a bad rap, the name. So I've got some friends who were commenting back and forth about a couple of things the last few days that have just been driving me nuts. One of them is making fun of Melania Trump. And you know, again, I would rather walk across hot coals with my lips than to defend that man. And I do think that there are faults of hers in that she's complicit in like supporting him and all that kind of stuff, right? But I'm not going to make fun of what dress she's wearing. I'm not going to make fun of the fact that she used to be a model, and sometimes models pose naked, right? Like I'm not going there because I think it cheapens the argument. I don't think it has anything to do with anything. Honestly, it just was her career. I mean, we've had presidents who are actors. Ronald Reagan was an actor. I mean, back in the day, movies were boring. It was like Bedtime for Bonzo or whatever. He made a lot of movies with monkeys, I recall. And then wasn't Nancy Reagan an actress too? And then his previous wife was an actress as well. So, I mean, were they actresses today, there would have been a totally different situation, right? And so they may have had roles that may have not been becoming of a first lady, which is bullshit anyway, because they're not even elected. They're not who we're electing. So anyway, it just drives me nuts when I see women, especially though, just going in on Melania Trump about things that she has done and choices that she has made. Most of which that I know of are actually illegal. And then there was another thing they were talking about last names, like we're talking about why does Nikki Haley, who is Indian of Indian heritage, her real name is like something super complicated, lots of letters, a typical Indian name, but just lots of letters for us of the English-speaking persuasion. And why does she go by Nikki? Well, it turns out that her dad nicknamed her Nikki because that means like little princess or little something in their language, right? And so her name has been Nikki like since she was a child. That was not to make her more Anglo or anything like that I know of. And then Haley is her married name, and they're like, well, why doesn't she use her maiden name? It's like, well, I mean, my maiden name is Smith, and I don't use it because it just complicated things for me, and I didn't want to, and I wanted the same name, and Smith is no great treasure either, right? And so I think that they were like, well, if she's not, then she's not truly standing up for women. Women should use all of their names. And I'm like, stop shooting yourself to death. That's what I always say. Just stop with that, right? I just don't get it. I think women sometimes are their worst enemies to each other. And I've heard my employees tell me that before. I've had friends tell me that's hardcore. And then there was one more thing, and then I'm going to get off. This is the soapbox moment. All of this right here. This WAP song. We all know Cardi B's song WAP, right? Or WAP or whatever, however you say it. And so there was some politician that was like, Melania Trump, or someone said this, Melania Trump is so classy, and and then Cardi B said something like, "Didn't she used to sell the WAP?" Which is a low blow, but it was kind of funny still. And this other woman was like, "Well, Cardi B, people like you are destroying the youth of America and all that stuff." And I'm like, let's hold it a minute, right? Let's hold it a minute. So if you are a conservative, which this is where I actually am pretty market-based. This is where I kind of veer conservative myself. If you are conservative, well, there's a couple of things. One, you believe that parents should be teaching the kids and controlling what the kids consume and all of that, right? So if the American youth is getting corrupted by some Cardi B, it's on that blood is on the hands of the parents. That is not on Cardi B, right? Like that is, she may be singing things that you maybe don't like or approve of, but then don't let your kids fucking listen to them, right? So there's that, first of all. Secondly, if you're conservative, and this is the part where I'm pretty conservative, you believe in a market-based economy. You believe that people, consumers, dictate what should and should not be allowed by it through their purchasing. So if people don't like WAP, they're not going to buy the WAP, and then no one's going to make WAP anymore, right? Am I even saying it right? And Aaron is asking me to clarify it. I am not. I already did that before. So, but I'm like, so if you were truly conservative, you would believe that she has a full right to make that song. And if people don't want to buy it, don't buy it. If they don't want to download it, don't download it. Don't listen to it or whatever. So anyway, and I also think that, like feminists especially, it is okay to claim that you are a sexual being, right? It is okay to claim that. I think that's what Carrie is saying, that Cardi B is giving American youth and all women the voice of claiming what is rightfully and powerfully ours, something men have been doing and exploiting of women for years. I wish you could see that whole thing, but that's what she is saying. I know Kyle just wanted to hear me say it. I am not saying it, right? So, and Crystal saying, I took a swipe at Barron a few weeks ago and my oldest son checked me. He was right. He told me to swing away at the dad, but not at the kid. I agree. Totally off limits. Barron did not sign up for this life. We don't even know if he likes his dad, honestly. So I'm like, that is off limits to me. And Carrie's like, how did we not discuss WAP on the show yesterday while I was on it? Dang it. I know. Am I even saying it? Do they say WAP? Is that the... and women should have the choice to use what name. The basis of feminism is to allow women to have all of the choices. If you want to stay home and bake cookies and take care of the babies and all of that and not work, that is your fucking choice. If you want to go be a ball-busting CEO and do whatever, that is your choice. It is all about, like, stop putting the boxes. Like, it just drives me. And Marla is agreeing. I agree. Cheap shit tone avoided. I think that means shots, actually. Will totally rag on her plagiarism. Yeah, there is that. I mean, that is a totally valid comment. So anyway, that is, and Carrie is saying, yes, WAP is correct. So I am saying it right? My mom says it means wings and pizza. I love that. Oh, I love some WAP then. I love WAP a lot if it's wings and pizza. I might have some WAP for dinner tonight. Cheers. Let's see what that closed captioning does to my search results all of a sudden. Too funny. What else was I going to talk about today? TCU, Texas Christian University, and Fort Worth has already reported over 250 cases of COVID since they opened. I think they opened like a minute ago. And so that's crazy, right? Aaron, I think you live close to there. Be careful. I mean, I know y'all are being careful, but they're like begging kids to stop partying, which, I mean, hey, kids, we know you have never lived away from your parents and you're still teenagers technically, but don't act like it. Hey, kids, we know you're in your lower 20s and you're living alone for the first time, but don't act like it. Right? It's just telling these kids not to act like kids, but SMU is taking a heavy hand. SMU is like saying, if we find out about parties, shutting it down and you're getting in trouble. If you were at a party, shutting it down and you're in trouble. Everyone's in trouble for going to a party. That is not the SMU I knew. I'm very proud of them for that. I think they're trying to get their reputation under control, but yes. TCU, horned frogs, more like horned dogs. I like that. That's funny. Sandy loves the conversation. I assume you're talking about the feminism. And oh, my mom is so pretty. She is. It is so funny. My sister is a spitting image, like a clone of my mother. And I am like a clone of my dad. But then people think that my sister and I are twins. They used to when we were kids. Not so much anymore. But when we were kids, they did. And so my parents, I don't know. And I think I think I have my mom's nose. My dad has a much sharper nose. I have my mom's different features. And I get all of my sense of humor from my mother is goofball extraordinaire. Will love to embarrass the kids. Just no filter on jokes. Nothing is off limits to laugh about, and that is me to a T. So I get all of my humor. We used to watch Saturday Night Live when I was a kid. I remember staying up in the 80s to watch Saturday Night Live with my mom. I love that. So, oh, look at this little memory lane here, Mom. You're watching. I also remember a funny memory is I remember seeing B-52s for the first time with my mom on Saturday Night Live, and we were like, what the fuck is this? I don't think she might have said it. I did not say that. But I was like, and keep in mind also, my mom was 20 when I was born. So when I was 10 years old, my mom was 30. When I was 8 years old, my mom was 28. So we kind of grew up at the same time. But we were like, who the fuck are these people? I love B-52s now because I get the camp of it and I get the humor of it. But at the time, it was like, they're just weird, right? And Melissa's saying when we were at SNU, there's no way we would have all stayed in at their age. I know. It's hard. It's hard. But, I mean, thank goodness SNU at least has deferred rush so that you're not doing all the rush stuff during all of this going on. So, oh, and my mom doing some hearts. Oh, so sweet. What else was I going to talk about? I asked about morning stretches on Facebook. If y'all have any good morning stretches for people, I am just starting to get a little brittle. Stuff's not doing what it's supposed to do. And I'm walking like 2 to 3 miles a day, which I think has been helping a lot. But then I'm like, God, that nerve or whatever that tendon is that connects your ass cheek to the top of your leg. And there's like a sciatic nerve in that. I don't know what the tendon is. That is so tight. And I am constantly having to stretch that. And I have to stretch it in a way that I'm sorry, I was just taking my stand goals so that I don't hurt myself either, though. Because I've heard that if you don't stretch the right way, you can hurt yourself. So if you have any tips on that, put them in the comments, please. Send it to me. And then, oh my God, I can't believe I've waited this long to tell you all this. So yesterday on the show, Carrie and I were talking at length about free bleeding and menstruation directly into your panties, not wearing tampons and stuff. I can't believe I'm bringing this up again. Y'all can stop talking to me about it. I got so many messages yesterday afterwards with stories about free bleeding and stories about menstruation and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, I am officially good. Like I'm okay. Like I get it. Like, so I appreciate the concern. I appreciate wanting to share memories about it. But let's just put a cork in that. I'll put a cork in it. Maybe a bad reference. So anyway, so and then what else was I going to talk about? Totally not really. Oh shit, I forgot to tell you. So I meant to tell you this early on in this. So on was it Monday when I wasn't drinking and I was like, I got a lot to do. Well, it's because we had a COVID scare. Yes, it's true. We thought that Claire had COVID. So she was starting to have a low-grade kind of fever, real headachy, coughing, and all that kind of stuff. And we're like, fuck. And then I was like, I wasn't drinking because then I was like, if she goes and gets it, the test, and Todd took her, they're going to go get the test. And then if they come back positive, then I got to go get the fucking test. And I don't want to have any of this when I go get the test, right? And so I'm like, so I was kind of distracted too. I don't know if y'all noticed that. But turns out she was negative. They think that she just has really, really bad ragweed allergies, as I do. Not that we're biologically connected at all, but just ragweed has been like insanely off the charts lately. And I can, if I have allergies bad enough, I can have a low grade temperature because my body, I guess, it's just fighting everything. And they said that that's totally normal. And the coughing, I was coughing yesterday like, like I sounded like Kathleen Turner doing a bong or something, like just real raspy yesterday morning, and coughing and wheezing. But like we had a scare, and that's why I wasn't. I mean, that's not fun, right? So, but we're all good. Everything is fine. Everything is fine now. But a little serious moment there. So, and the last thing I was going to tell you all about is I made some chicken piccata last night. That was off the charts good, and I made it in a sheet pan. I made it. It's from the Defined Dish Cookbook, which I think Sandy said she bought. The sheet pan chicken piccata, so good. I love anything with capers in it. God, I could. So the hardest part about making food with capers is then I just end up sitting there eating the capers out of the jar. I love them. I did not realize this though until recently, like only maybe in the last 12 months or so. Capers are flowers that haven't bloomed yet. It's sort of like when you go to Home Depot and they got the mums and they have little pods on it, but they haven't bloomed yet. That is the equivalent to like a caper. It's not from a mum, but it's kind of like that. And that they just peel the little unbloomed flowers and they pickle them. I had no idea. And Ryan is saying, I am allergic to Texas. I feel your pain. Yes. So I heard one time, I don't know how true this is, North Texas specifically, I bet you're allergic to. I heard one time that one of the reasons that we do not have a Native American tribe here in the North Texas region is because Native Americans would come here and get so sick that they thought the air was evil. I don't know, again, news-ish, and that may be an old wives' tale, but I've heard that since moving to SMU in 1993 when I had my first allergy attack. Because I'm from South Texas. The wind blows so hard, it's humid. There's no season, so everything is just always going, and we don't have the ragweed and the mountain cedar, because the mountain cedar and the ragweed killed me. The mountain cedar especially, and so they blow in, and then you're just like, oh, it's so bad. And but supposedly that's what I've always been told, is that Native Americans did not live here because the air was evil. Some might argue that it still is. But yeah, it is crazy. And I can always tell, so like on this RV trip, we leave and I'm like, oh, I'm okay. New Mexico was hard for me, and Colorado some too, because there's so much cedar there. But once we got like into Wyoming and all that, and then went to Iowa and then also over to North Carolina, I was fine. The minute we get back to Texas, it's like punched in the eyes. So, and tonight I was going to make Martha Stewart's slow cooker lasagna, which is one of my very favorite meals, but I started too late, and I was like, fuck, I'll just make it tomorrow. So tonight's gonna be fix it your damn self. Just leftovers, some chicken piccata, and some other stuff. But Google Martha Stewart's slow cooker lasagna recipe if you like lasagna and you like to slow cook. It is easy. You make the sauce from scratch, and that's the hardest part, and it's not hard at all. And it's pork sausage, beef, ground beef, a bunch of tomatoes, garlic, carrots, stuff like that. Because a good tomato sauce has carrots in it, because it tempers the bitterness of the tomatoes, the sweetness of the carrots does. Make that, and then you make the lasagna. You set it and you forget it. It's wonderful. It's also a dry lasagna. I actually prefer it so much more than a big sloppy wet lasagna. So you cook it and you cut it and it still kind of stands up. It's moist because it's got the cheese and stuff in it, but it is so good. Carrie's tonight doing a Zoom Steak 101 class. That's fun. I saw you on Instagram, what you bought for it and all that stuff. Be interested to find out. I've always heard that the key to making a good steak is that you sear it in like a cast iron skillet at really high temperature just to seal it in, and then you throw it in a hot oven to cook the rest of the way. And then you take it out and let it rest. That's what I've always heard is the best. And like you put a stick of butter on it or something. You know, butter makes everything better. And Sandy says she did not know that about capers. Yeah, they're flowers that have not bloomed and then have been pickled. So you're eating flowers, girl. I love it. Alrighty, well, that's all I got. Oh, we're hitting exactly the 30-minute mark. Awesome. I'm getting the hang of this. Alrighty, well, that's it. Unless you'll have anything else, let me just take a real quick glance. I don't see anything else. I'll have to listen to WAP after this. So I got that song stuck in my head, and I don't even know any of the fucking words. I just know just kind of the dun, 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 dun. I love the video. The video is like visually beautiful. I love her videos. But with that, I'm going to say bye. I love y'all. I love y'all so much. And I love you especially now that you're watching, and this is kind of daily catharsis and all that stuff. If you are loved, though, it's important to remember that. Got my therapy. Thank you so much for that. And with that, I'm going to say bye. Don't shoot yourself to death. Wear a mask. Be safe. The numbers are coming down. You got to keep them coming down. If you're in college and you're watching this on Facebook, which we all know is not the case because you don't watch Facebook, I also stream on YouTube, so who knows? Be safe. Don't go to parties. Be a boring college student. You're not there to party for the first few months. If you want to stay on campus with your friend, don't go party, and then you will do it. And Aaron is working on a WAP TikTok dance. Well, I cannot wait to see that. Cannot wait to see that. It's TikTok. Here's the TikTok dance. Put your foot on something. You got to grind on the floor. All that. So, alrighty. I love